Welcome everybody to tonight's home clinic. A home clinic is where we grab one quality coach and he presents on one specific subject for you guys to enjoy, and he usually does that from home. If you guys have been enjoying this series and would like to see it continue, we want to ask that you would like and subscribe below. Those things certainly help us to grow and is kind of that feedback to say this is a good thing. Keep this coming. If you have a desire to present in the future, reach out to us on Twitter, DM us. That's at the Chief Pigskin. All right, without further ado, tonight's home clinic.
All right, what's up, Chief Pigskin? It's Coach Blair again. And today I got a treat for all the triple option coaches. I got a defensive guy who's going to explain how to defend the triple option. I got Coach PJ Gibbs from Palmetto Ridge High School in Florida. So how we doing today, Coach?
Doing great, Garrett. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yep, I'm excited to have you. So kind of a real quick question. What makes defending the triple option unique or maybe a little more difficult?
I think as a high school defense, and I think even you get to the college level, you're asking young men to play assignment football, not to deviate from the plan. So I think the more repetition you get and the more assignment conscious you are, the thing is with defending the option, when you break down the film and you watch it after the game, you know who didn't do their job. So, but the thing is, you're asking at a high school level, you're asking 15, 16, and 17-year-olds to tackle the dive, tackle the quarterback, go to the pitch, and it becomes monotonous and they get bored. So, kind of the thing that I was kind of brought up on is you can't always stay in the same look. You have to give these guys multiple looks. You have to pressure them. And you can't always line up the same way. You have to move and stem because those offensive linemen are going to have specific rules for where they're lined up on and what they need to do. So I think from the perspective of the root of your question, it's just getting guys to do their job on a consistent basis. And if they do pop one, it's not for 65 and a touchdown. You hold them to a first down.
Yeah. So. If you would, go ahead and give everybody a little bit of a preview of what you're going to talk about and stuff.
Sure. So I'm going to talk about two specific fronts that we use. I've used over the years of coaching against the triple option, and see it more up in the Northeast where I came from. I was a high school coach in New Jersey for 14 years, and kind of weather dictates a little bit what you can do when you get into the playoffs and stuff like that. So we see a lot more ground game up there than we do down here in Florida. But we run a Maverick front, which we actually got from Rutgers University in the early 2000s. It's kind of like a 6-2 look. And then we use a bubble front, which is more of a 6-1 look. And we got that from North Carolina State, like late 90s, early 2000s when Chuck Amato was a defensive coordinator there. So it's kind of like that. But again, everything's assignment football. Some is zone concept, some is man concept. You can combo a little bit of both, but that's kind of what we're going to be getting into.
Awesome. So floor is yours. You can go ahead and share your screen.
All right. So we're going to get into the Maverick front first. We use this quite a bit when we face split back veer and in Naples against Naples High School. And then we faced Golden Gate High School this year. So we have a couple different calls in our Maverick front. I'll go over the alignments first and just regular Maverick. Regular Maverick, we're going to be 2 2s head up on the guards, 2 4s head up on the tackles. We're going to have a safety and a Viper as overhangs. Now, their alignment, they're not going to be that close to the line of scrimmage. They're going to be about 2 by 5 off the wings, and they're going to be looking in and reading the wing to tackle. Our 2 inside backers are in 30s. And then our corners are going to be outside leverage. And then our free safety in the middle of the field, he's going to be an extra late add-on to the run and then do a deep third player. So in the grand scheme of things, our Maverick base is going to be this look right here. The 4 interior defensive linemen are going to have the dive. So they're going to engage down the center of the offensive lineman, and they're going to work to the dive. The backers, they're going to read the quarterback. So if this quarterback opens up to our defensive left, this left inside backer is going to become a quarterback player. This inside backer is going to be your 5th dive player. Now, we'll get into like blocking schematics and things like that because that could change depending on what these guys do. And so in the grand scheme of things, this overhang is going to be quarterback to pitch. This free safety is going to be a flat foot read. He's going to also read the quarterback. So he's going to flat foot read at 10 yards. And if he reads pass, he's going to get into the third and get his eyes on the closest wing. So if the quarterback again opens up to our left here, he's gonna pat his feet at 10, get his eyes on the wing. Now, if it's run, he'll be late to the run in the alley. Because again, we don't want him going downhill because they'll run that little, two-step, and then they'll try to either hit the seam route, they'll try to hit a quick slant or a skinny post here. So he's really late to the run. And so that's our Maverick, our Maverick base front. Okay. Now, if we just call regular Maverick, the only thing that's going to change is these guys are going to line up in two eyes and 2 4 eyes and really collapse and take that dive and force things to get out on the perimeter. And for us, because we're pretty athletic in the back 7, we don't mind that. We don't mind guys getting out on the perimeter. We want the ball to be pitched, and we want them to pitch the football, because in high school football, I'm going to take odds that ball is going to get on the ground a significant amount of the time. So, but again, it's a change-up look, because again, these offensive linemen, they're going to have specific rules for, hey, this guy's head up on me, this guy's now a 2-eye or a 4-eye, and we'll stem to it as well. We'll start out head up, and then we'll stem when the quarterback gets under center, just to kind of make them communicate and maybe make them miss a block or the quarterback miss a read, and we end up getting a TFL or turnover in the backfield. Now, with motion, and as you're going to see in some of the film clips I'm going to go over. So what we do, and motion 2 is for the rocket toss, and we really rarely see counter option down here. I saw it more up north. But so what we do to kind of contrast that with our reads are, if we're going to get, let's say, for example, this right wing is going to go in motion, okay? This Viper is then going to make a lock call to this corner. Corner's then going to get inside leverage. He has that guy locked. He's now coming hot off the edge, outside leverage as a force defender in case we get counter option coming back. Now, if you get counter option coming back, the thing that we work on with our inside linebackers is, instead of just going when the quarterback goes, we're going to take two shuffle steps in that direction and then work our way back if we need to. The key there is that we're getting immediate run support to the force in case we do get counter option back, and then we're locked up here on this wide out. And so that for us is kind of how we'll attack things from a Maverick standpoint, either in our regular or Maverick base. If we get a look where this wing's going to step up beyond the line of scrimmage, we'll take this strong safety and we'll walk him up in a 9. But his run responsibility remains the same. He's still going to be quarterback to pitch. So that, now again, that's if we're not going to pressure. I'm a firm believer in, with the option, you have to force the quarterback to make a decision. You can't just always make it easy, a dive read, or he's pulling it and getting out quick. And, we want him to have to think. And then what I always tell my guys is, if he's carrying out the fake, and this is something that I'll go over and talk to the officials about in pregame, is that if the ball's handed off, he better stop running, because we're telling our kids that if he's running down the line, he's alive, and somebody's assigned to that responsibility. So to make that perfectly clear from the get-go and what your expectations are to your kids, and then now obviously to the referees, because you don't want to get a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness. So that's kind of like how we'll try to slow them down a little bit. But I really like that off the motion, because if you do get counter option back, you get immediate run support. And again, this guy's locked up if we get anything, coming back. So what I'll do is I'll show you a clip here. We do get a condensed look here. So our overhang here, he should be a little wider because obviously he's in a really bad alignment here to get cracked. So he actually does a decent job of getting back outside, but he really should be aligned like our Viper is here on the outside shoulder of this condensed wideout. But this for us is Maverick regular. I'll slow motion it here too. Okay, so they try to run midline here, but you can see we're all good with our run fits. Now you just said, you're probably saying to yourself, Coach, this wing went in motion. You just talked about that. Well, this team didn't run any counter option, so we didn't have that in for this week. But if they did have counter option, that Viper would have went to become the run support. You can see here we got everybody on the dive. The quarterback opens up to our defensive right, so our right inside linebacker is going to take the quarterback. Our backside backer is going to help on the dive. He should be outside for the pitch. I mean, it's a straight midline here. So we take the dive. He does a good job here. You can see the right inside linebacker does a great job with his run fit, and we rally to the football. Okay, so that was on 3rd and 2. Here's a wide angle. Okay, again, I don't like his alignment here, but you can see our right inside linebacker does a really, really good job of finding the open gap and getting to the quarterback. And he's run his feet on contact a little bit better there, but we do a real good job rallying to the football, and we hold him to get him into a 4th and 1 situation. Okay, now here we're in 2 eyes and 2 4 eyes. Same thing. I don't like his alignment. Okay, he should be outside here. He's in a really bad spot to get cracked. Okay, he works his way. Okay, he should be going right to the pitch. Okay, 23 here should be going to the pitch instead of worrying about the quarterback. We have the quarterback taken care of here. 5 does a good job getting his gap. Okay, this is a 4th and 1 play. They would have pitched the ball, we might have been in trouble. Okay, but we tackle the dive. We get good run fit, except for 23. But we rally to the football, and we stop them on 4th down and give our offense the ball on their side of the field. Okay, so that was out of our base front. Okay, now the next thing we do is we're going to pressure. All right, and I love pressure in the option. I'm a big believer if you're not applying a pressure, you're feeling it. So we have what we call as, now this is 3 different pressures out of 1 call. So we have Maverick double bomb. Okay, so Maverick double bomb is both inside backers going. All right, so we're in 2 2s and 2 4s. The 2 interior guys. So these 4 guys are your dive players in double bomb. Okay. You're going to have a 4 working his way outside to the quarterback. These guys, your strong safety and your Viper, they're pitch. Okay. Again, 10 yards, flat foot read. Okay. Corners are outside alignment. Now, again, if we do get motion, we need to make a lock call. All right. And then these guys are going to go. But here's the coaching point is that with the double bomb call, they have to get a little bit wider because these ends are ripping outside to go play the quarterback. Okay, so they can't kind of run into each other. So he's going to have to get a little bit of width here. All right, and come and be aiming point would be outside leg or outside shoulder pad of that wing coming back, or forcing or making the tackle on the pitch if it's really, really quick. Okay, but now you can, what we'll do is we'll call double bomb. Now, if you get a tendency where you have a team that likes to go formation into the boundary and they like to run into the boundary, you can run boundary bomb. Where now, let's say this is the boundary. Okay, this side is just running bomb. This side is just running your regular Maverick. Or to the field, let's say this is the field, so we call Maverick field bomb. And these guys know if they're to the field, they're going, and these guys are playing regular Maverick. So you can get 3 pressures out of that call. And I really like it because it helps you when you do your tendency breakdown. It helps you pressure the option. And I would say, going back to the beginning, I should have mentioned this in the beginning, is we'll spend the first 2 days of practice without a football. We'll have guys run into their assignment, and I don't care where. I tell them I don't care where you think the ball is. If you think you know where the ball is, that means you're not doing your job, and that means we have a problem. Okay, but I like these calls, and I'll go into a couple of film clips. Okay, so here's double bomb. Now again, this is against a split back. Same principles of dive, quarterback, pitch. All right, but we're in a 5-man front here because they use a tight end. So you see our Viper getting up and moving. Okay, I would like these inside guys to hold it until the snap, but this is the first time I called a pressure. I think it was like the middle of the 2nd quarter. So they were really, really, really anxious to go. All right, we'll slow it down here. Get our Vipers over there. You see the ends working outside to the quarterback. Okay, our safety gets in the run fit. Okay, and we hold them to a 1-yard gain. But it's forcing the issue, right? Okay, I know this is a power, but again, for us, these linemen are going to have they're going to have rules. Okay, so, you know, we're 4-eye, 2-eye, 2-eye, 4-eye, and now this guy rips outside, and now these guys are coming. That's why I want them to hold the look as long as possible. Okay, because I want them to hit that when the window opens up. Not get blocked down like 12 did there. Okay, but we did a pretty good job running the football. Safety does a real good job getting in his run fit. Okay, so we hold them to a 1-yard gain. Okay, so now this team had a tendency of faking toss to the boundary and then booting the quarterback out to the field. So here we're going to call field bomb. So these guys are just going to be on here. Now, again, his alignment should be a little bit wider outside so he doesn't get cracked. You're going to see the end, 54 is going to rip. He's going to rip outside here. 16 is going to get in this A-gap. And then 12 is going to basically come unblocked. Again, I'd like him to hold it, but he makes the play in the backfield here. It is a really, really nice job here for TFL. Okay, so now we, you know, again, I'll show you that guy. I'll show you that again. This is really, I mean, for us, when we face option teams, you know, you're forcing the issue. So again, we get a big TFL there. Show you from the press box here. Okay, again, 6 should be wider. You know, he's in a crackable. He tries to work back outside. Okay, but we do a pretty good job there. Okay, obviously, you know, 3-yard loss. You know, we'll take that anytime. So another stunt, and this is something that I liked against the 3-man surface. We ran it against a split back veer. So this is our Viper stunt. So Viper is always to the 3-man surface. So even if they were in, you know, pro, which is with the tight end, or they would go tackle over or heavy. So the Viper now is going to become a dive player. The end to the 3-man surface is going to wrap around and become the quarterback player. Nothing changes for anybody else except these 3 linemen are now pinching, which means if you get anything on the perimeter, it's going to hit fast. But these guys know that with this stunt call. So I really like this, and I'll have a clip to show you in a second. But I really like this to a 3-man surface, whether it's against a split back, whether it's against the triple option. This is something that has been successful for us. You know, throughout the years of running this, but I'll show you this. This is a really good stunt for us. Okay, you see our Viper, they traded to the 3-man surface, so we called Viper here. You're going to see 54 wrap, Forgan underneath. The tackle doesn't know what's going on here, and we actually get I think they get a half yard here. I mean, Ford does a really good job of getting skinny. I mean that kid's 6'5". But you can see 54 right here. He's wrapping. He's going to wrap. Ford's going to get real skinny and get underneath here. And all these guys are doing is pinching. Okay, so that, you know, again, we have 4 guys here for literally 1 open gap, which numbers game, that's pretty good. I'll slow it down for you again. Ford does a really good job of ripping underneath, getting skinny. 54 does a good job of getting around the horn here. Okay, and that to me is a really good stunt to any 3-man surface. All right, so I mean, again, you always wanted to. So out of Maverick, if you think about it, you have multiple fronts you can stem to, and you have really 4 pressures. You have double bomb, field bomb, boundary bomb, and now you have Viper. So you're constantly, to me, you constantly want to mess with the quarterback's head, because he's going to be taught that, hey, down, give or pull, or, whatever progression that they're going to get to, especially with the midline, inside veer, outside veer, and counter option and things like that, or rocket toss, or, whatever. They're going to want to check to something. So the more stuff you can do as far as forcing the issue, I think the greater chance you have for negative plays, and then you also have for TFLs and turnovers. And again, you don't have to buy into this, lock, stock, and barrel, but it's something that's worked for us and has been successful, over the years. The next front I want to show you is our bubble front. Now, this is a man concept. To me, don't run this on a passing down, because especially if you get like boot, you're going to get guys crossing, and that's when bad things happen. I would use this in a heavy run tendency, And again, it's gonna mess with the quarterback's read. So basically, you're gonna line up in your over front. All right, so you're gonna play a 5, a 3, a shade, and a 5. You take your 2 pluggers, your 2 inside linebackers, you walk them up in the A and the B gap. So right now, these guys right here are your dive players. Okay, they're your dive players. Your ends are in loose 5s. Your ends are in loose 5s. And all they're doing is, and you can stand them up, put them in a stance, whatever you want to do. Some guys, we kind of let our guys sometimes stand up because defensive linemen, they like to stand up. So we'll put their inside foot up, and they're going to work their inside hand to that tackle, and they're going to stay square to the line of scrimmage, and they're playing quarterback. So your ends are your quarterback players. Okay? Your safeties are outside leverage of the wings. They have them man-to-man. Okay? Your corners are locked up in man. This guy is your super Mike. He's your dude. So this could be your Mike linebacker, a strong safety type. Whoever your best open field tackler is has to be your super Mike. He's going to play all 3. Dive, quarterback, and pitch. Okay? And again, it's literally you have to do a period with these 3 guys, because when you get motion, so let's say we got motion here, okay? He has to shuffle and on a snap get right off, staying inside out leverage, right off the butt of the super Mike. You have to do a period so they get comfortable so you don't get guys knocking into each other, okay? And then if you get, I get a lot of questions about, okay, well, what if you get, they double this end, right? Well, this guy has the wing, so if the wing goes to block the end, he's coming up inside shoulder as a force defender, keeping his outside arm free. Okay, or if you get the out and the fold, he is now inserting. Okay, and if you got motion with that fold, okay, he's getting downhill. Now he's going here. All right, but it's a different look. It gives a quarterback a different read. And again, I don't recommend it in a passing down because, especially if you get teams that are going to motion and guys are going to try to come underneath in a flat route or in a boot situation, you might get guys running into each other. Now, if you get that unbalanced set, if this guy comes over, we'll just check we call green as our cover 3. So we'll just walk him down to the box, okay, get him to the middle of the field. He'll have that wing like this, and then the corner will come over, okay, and then he'll take this wing man-to-man. But our kids know that, he's on the line, so he's ineligible because he's covered up. But again, some people try to out-formation you like that or get to see how you adjust. But it really doesn't, we just mess with our run support, okay, a little bit. So, we'll be more of a sky concept and then a cloud concept back here. So that's bubble. I want to go back to Maverick for a second because I forgot to mention kind of like, how we'll do, how we'll cover things. If you're going to face that unbalanced check for us is the same in Maverick. So, this guy comes over, okay, the Viper will bump out, okay, the corner will be here. And again, we're playing cover 3 anyway. So it really doesn't mess with us from that standpoint. If in a passing situation, let's say they have some dude that they want to line up and chuck the ball to, we'll call what we'll say is Maverick Brown. So basically Brown coverage is B is for bracket. So this guy will use the same alignment. We'll bracket with the free safety, and that means that the side of the Brown, that guy is locked on that wing. Okay, so we want to double that one wide out, and then we're going to take the wing. Now again, if that wing goes in motion, that guy's going to go. So we call Brown. They're bracketing here, and this guy goes in motion. I mean, he'll still, just because he's conditioned to make a lock call, he'll do it. But I mean, he's coming hot off the edge. So that's a way to kind of take away their best wide receiver. Because again, most of the time you're going to play either a cover 3 or a cover 0 concept against a team like this. Some teams will play cover 2, depending on what alignment and what formations that they're seeing. But again, I like the pressure aspect of what we do, and it's fairly simple, but it's just getting your kids to understand. Our guys, we talk about all the time. We talk about landmarks. We talk about landmarks, and we talk about where you need to be when the ball is snapped, so that the kids know where their landmarks are. And when we're pressuring, don't run in the back of the same color jersey. Always make sure that you're getting to the next open gap. And I think our inside linebacker from the previous film clips you guys saw, he did a really good job of getting to that next open gap. But that's really how we attack it. There's really no secret formula. It's lining up and executing what you're told to do. And then there's some variations. Again, I really like the pressure game. So, Coach Blair, if you got some questions for me, I'm all ready to roll, brother.
All right. So thanks, Coach. Do you only or typically are you playing cover 3 to that, or when you're in Maverick, are you only playing cover 3?
Yeah. So I mean, basically, unless we call it Brown, like, unless we want to double somebody, we'll start out in cover 3. But again, like, we don't see, and honestly, the team that ran the triple last year in that film clip, they're going to a spread next year. So, we're not going to really see it anymore. But it can turn into a combo coverage if we do get that wing motion, because I want to send immediate pressure against counter option, because I want, when that quarterback turns around, I want that outside linebacker right in his face.
Okay.
To kind of mess his read up. But yeah, typically pre-snap, we're gonna be in cover 3. But like I said, in the diagram, those overhangs are going to be 2x5 off the wing, so that they're in that slant window if they want to try to throw like just a quick pickup and try to throw a slant, because our corners are outside leverage.
Do you guys ever see much? Because I'm just thinking of me having been a coordinator in a flex bone offense. Do you guys ever see 4 verticals when you're in that one high look?
To be honest with you, we since I've been down here, I haven't. I saw a decent amount of it in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But kind of the way that we combated it is running that double bomb pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do anything against pressure.
Yeah, and again, just based from an offensive perspective, to me, it comes down to, it's still a high school quarterback, right? So I'm going to force them into a difficult decision. And listen, if they make a great throw and they get a first down, or I'll tip my hat to them. But at the end of the day, I feel pretty good about what we're doing schematically and what our guys do. But that's the thing. Like, I'd rather force the issue and dictate to you, rather than me just sit in the front and then have you dictate to me, well, there's your 3 technique, there's your shade. So we're going to run midline here, we're going to run inside veer here, where now I can kind of move and stem, and now I'm making your lineman think. So to me, that's a check in our box. But if you have a dude at that B back that we can't tackle, all that stuff don't matter, at the end of the day.
How much stemming do you typically do against a triple option team? Stem in the front, pre-snap movement.
We started doing it a little bit more this past year, because we had my first year here. We had a pretty young group. We started about 8 sophomores. Last year, obviously, those kids, were a year older. So we did it typically. We did it more this year, because I didn't want to put the kids in a position where I didn't think they'd be successful. So we did that more this year, where we'd start out in regular Maverick and then shift to base Maverick, or vice versa. Or what we would do is, if we had the personnel on there, we would shift to bubble. So kind of like what I do is, when we do our film study, is I'll look and study how, when you guys snapping the ball. So, like, are you always going to snap it between 9 and 11 seconds on the play clock? So I know to tell my linebackers that if you, like, let's say consistently you guys snap it at 10, well, I want us to stem at 12. So now when we say move and we move, now is your quarterback still going to run the play? He's going to look over to you, and now you got to get another plan, and now either you have to burn a timeout, or it's a 5-yard penalty, or we force you into a bad play. Okay. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it.
What coverage did you typically play out of that, like, bubble front that you guys have?
Straight zero, man. It was straight zero. So I tell my corners, I'm like, hey, you know what? Pull them down. I'll take 15 instead of 6 points if you get beat. But like I said, if you gave us that unbalanced look where you brought the X over, we just walked that safeties down that side, and what we would do is we would play a zone concept to that side, and then we take that corner, lock him on that wing, and the safety would eyeball that other wing. So so that wouldn't take away from wouldn't take away from the box really, because we had the wings covered. So if you went in motion, we were good. So it was just basically like we were honoring that formation, knowing that if we don't do something, you're going to check to something to put us in conflict. And especially if you had like a speedy guy, that's a problem for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough for coming on and presenting for us. It was awesome to hear you talk about defense.
Oh, it was great, man. Listen, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Hopefully we have a staff meeting tomorrow, so hopefully they're telling us that we can start practice on June 15th down here. We're itching. The kids are itching. Everybody's itching to get back and get rolling.
Oh, can't wait. I can't wait to get back to it either. So thank you so much, and thanks everybody for watching.